This is the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, highlighting all of Section 3, interviewing the greatest local coaches and athletes. Brought to you by SummitCars.com, broadcasting in the ESPN studios. Here's your host, Mike Bristol, and Eagle Newspapers' Phil Blackwell.
All right, Philly B, what's going on, pal? How are you?
Oh, well, very, very busy. No doubt about it. Today alone, we have sectional wrestling championships taking place, determining the berth for the state meet up at OCC. They're just getting underway right now as we speak. Later today, the state qualifier for boys swimming, as they've had their sectional championships on Thursday and now determine who will go to their state championships in a few weeks. And we're getting to the end of the regular season in boys basketball and girls basketball and hockey, and they start their sectional playoffs next week. So this is a big intersection of events that have taken place. Plus, we've just had sectional meets in bowling and track and field. We'll go through all of it. We'll go through all of it today.
Nice job. All right, we're going to kick things off with our Wegmans winning spotlight interview with members of the Marcellus girls basketball team. Though it just had an 8-play roster, so 8 kids on that roster, the Marcellus girls basketball team has achieved some wonderful things this season. Amazing at 17-3 record and earning the regular season title in the OHSL Liberty National Division. At one point this winter, the Mustangs won 10 in a row and has a reasonable chance of breaking a 42-year sectional title drought when the Class B playoffs start this week. Marcellus head coach Lauren Collister and some of her players, Sarah Fallon, Hannah Duran, Mila Mayer, Katie McLaughlin, and Emma McLaughlin, all will be here joining us in studio.
Impressive team, Marcellus. I mean, they basically returned everybody from last season, so you had a sense they'd be pretty good, but they've proven to be a little bit more than that. With a 10-game win streak, and they did a lot of this while Lamar was out with an injury, too, and they've been doing it with a balanced lineup that different players step up at different times to produce a lot. And now they're going to be entering quite a crowded sectional tournament. Their coach told me that there are 23 teams that have qualified for Class B sectional playoffs. Think about that. 23. That means only 9 of them, if I'm not mistaken, have to not even play a play-in game into a bracket of 16. That means they either have to win 4 or even 5 playoff games to win the sectional title. And Class B is a brute when you've got teams like South Jefferson, Oneida, and West Hill to join Marcellus. It's going to be quite a tournament.
All right, after that, we've got our Upstate University Hospital Spotlight interview with members of the Jamesville DeWitt girls basketball team. And things have gone rather well for JD girls basketball team the last 6 years. Section Class A titles, 6 trips to the state Final Four, 3 consecutive state championships, and a Federation crown. But the Red Rams face some real challenges this season, from a brutal schedule to an injury that sidelined one of its best players. Still in good position to add yet another sectional title. So Coach Rob Seitchen will be here in studio. Momo LeClaire, Paige Keeler, Cabby Stickle, Andrea Samita, Sydney Baker, all be here in studio. Maybe even Bill O'Keefe. I try to get the JV coach, a buddy of mine, to come in as well.
Well, the thing was with JD is that they were in a difficult position right away because of Stickle's knee injury that sidelined her for the season.
That's right. Yep.
And then Baker was out for a long time as well. And the thing with JD is that they've had to work a lot harder this season through some tough games and some difficult defeats early this season, middle of the season, in some tournaments in New York City. And yet, still undefeated in the SCAC Empire Division, including 3 games this week. Some tough win last night over Central Square, a team that's vastly improved from earlier in the season. There's no doubt that some teams like CBA may be thinking that JD might be a little more vulnerable this season, but until it happens in the postseason, JD still must be considered the favorites.
Well, Phil, there's already a state championship earned by a Section 3 team this winter. The Clinton girls ice hockey team won its first ever sectional title. A week earlier, the Warriors went to Lake Placid, and a couple of weeks short of the 40th anniversary, of course, the Miracle on Ice, and on the same rink where the Americans shocked the Soviets in 1980.
The thing is about it is that there was new. It was a nice touch for the state to put the, what is it called, a regional or state tournament on that ice
yep.
and make everybody special. And by the way, shout out to the Crunch for those cool jerseys they wore last night. SYR, like the USA jerseys
very
of
cool.
1980. Yep. They look nice, by the way. As to the tournament itself, it was tough for Clinton because first they had to overcome Skinny Atlas, who dominated the section most of the last few years, and they did so by beating them 3 times in the span of a month. Then in the state semifinals, they faced a Salmon River team that hadn't lost all season, beat them 1-0. Then in the state championship game, it's scoreless with Williamsville from the Buffalo area until they get that goal in the third period. And the great work and goal by their goaltender, doing her just Jim Craig impression, I suppose, to stop everything and win 1-0 and get that state championship for a passionate hockey community. We all know what it is like in Clinton. Big-time performance by the Clinton team.
They also handed out Section 3 championships in indoor track field and a full Saturday, of course, SRC Arena. We're going to talk about that. But in Class AA boys, CNS squeezed out a narrow win over Baldwinsville. Also, FM pulled away from for the girls in Class AA title there. We'll talk about Class A and B, but let's talk about those real quick. Then I want
First
to get
in
to
AA,
A and B.
as I mentioned with CNS and Beeville, Liverpool, FM. Let's really spread out those top teams. CNS just had a little bit more, some good performances from the likes of Isaiah Wright. And as to the FM girls, we all know about their distance runners. But the fact is they've got more than that now. They had some real fine performances in field events from the likes of Isabel Zuber. I think she won a couple of field events. Even, they swept all 3 relays, including the sprint relay. So it's more than just distance running for FM, although that's what they're best known for, no question. So that's how FM won their title.
Class A, it was JD boys easily winning and Central Square girls prevailing. Class B1, we had the boys title go to Central Valley Academy and the girls title to West Hill, with Casanova boys and Clinton girls early beating their respective fields in Class B2.
Yeah, in those particular divisions, I mean, Central Valley Academy, lots of depth. They were strong in almost every event. And as for the West Hill girls, like Ashley Heffernan, she was the one who would win events like the hurdles and the pole vault. She was the one leader for that team. As for the B2s, Clinton, again, a deep, strong team with almost no weaknesses ever. And same for the Casanova boys. Incredibly impressive season that they had. Sometimes they could be on terms with some of the large schools with the athletes they had, people like Andrew Kent, Slater De Leon, and people like that.
Class C, D here, as we're talking about indoor track and field, it was West Canada boys nearly doubling the total of Remsen's Old Forge on the boys' side, and South Louis pulling clear from Tully in the girls' meet, and now all the rest before the state qualifier here 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, I mean, they've spaced it out nicely so that the qualifier is not like they have this week and then they wait 2 or 3 weeks before the state meet. They're actually spacing it out pretty well. And one of the things is going to happen, first of all, congratulations to South Louis, that group led by Hannah Ilfield, I believe is her name, winning the Class CD title. And of course, Tully, we all know about Brooke Robber. 2 weeks from now, Brooke Robber is going to run in the Pan Am cross-country race in British Columbia, representing Team USA, after she won a national race in San Diego by about 35 seconds in January, a race that's 6K rather than 5K, and this after she finished 7th at the Nike Nationals. And she's still only a junior, a 4-time state champion, and it's amazing what she's done.
There is also the Section 3 Boys Bowling Championships taking place at Utica's Panorama, where Baldwinsville, who had a just 6-6 record during the regular season, led from second game onward to take Division I by 250 points over Oswego, with also Liverpool, undefeated in the regular season, took third place. We had D2 here in boys bowling, went to VVS, who finished 190 pins ahead of runner-up Homer. So it's the Red Devils joining Beeville and advancing to the state tournament here mid-March in strike and spare lanes. And it was the Bees' Tanner Rozago as the top individual, shooting 1,450 for 6 games, with 5 games between 239 and 278. And Oswego's Eric Carlson finished third. He did roll only a 300 game of the tournament. Great job to him. Incredible job getting that 300.
Yeah, the 300 game for Eric, he was in the first game of the thing. Going into the tournament, everyone figured, a lot of people like us geniuses.
It's a way to set the tone.
We all figured that Liverpool was the team to beat because they went undefeated in the regular season. But Baldwinsville took the lead in the second game and never let it go. And teams tried to charge at them a little bit. Oswego was there for a while. Liverpool got to second place with about 100, but never got close to the 170 pins, and Rosicka was the key. He averaged about 245 a game in his games at Panorama. And VVS was dominant from start to finish in the Division II side, and we also want to congratulate Cooperstown, the Class C team champions as well in sectionals. They also had the sectional shootout take place on Thursday in Rome, and there, Fulton's Mitch Donaldson and CNS's Tyler Dodolo qualified for the state individual tournament, along with Fulton's Alexis Ingersoll and Liverpool's Ashley Hardy on the girls' side. They will join Eric Carson, who we mentioned before, will bowl in the state tournament. So will Homer's Nick Enshaw, Warrensboro's Trent Beatty, and Warraville's Shane Hecker on the boys. In the state tournament for the girls will be Utica Proctor's Caitlin Conti, Auburn's Kaylee Hudson, Sherburne-Roval's Olivia Fellner, and CBA's Elena Achino. First time CBA ever won a league title in bowling this season. So congratulations to all of them for making the state tournament.
So wrestling's 5 Section 3 class tournaments took place last weekend. And to touch on that, Class A, Fulton was expected, obviously, and Central Valley Academy did the same in Class B. While in Class AA, Liverpool emerged victorious, getting 9 of its wrestlers into the finals. The Class C title went to General Brown as Phoenix finished second, and Dullville held off Beaver River to earn the Class D team title.
Yeah, I mean, looking at Liverpool's season, they, like a lot of the Liverpool teams, had to spend their entire season on the road because of the whole rebuilding they're doing with their gym and their other facilities, athletic facilities. So they had to have all their meets on the road. Yet they swept through the SCAC Metro Division undefeated, winning at Zenith, at Beaver, all the places you need to win. Then they go to the sectional Class AA meet, and even though they only won a couple of divisions, 9 finalists, they have the Ianos. They have 2 twin brothers, like 4 brothers named Iano, 2 twins, 2 juniors, Chris, Dom, Jacob. It's pretty confusing, but they all wrestle, and they all wrestle well. Now as to the others, obviously Fulton dominated all season. They were a finalist at the state dual meet, remember, only finished second to Menacing Valley, I believe it was. And Central Valley, you expected that. And a good finish by General Brown, edging out the Phoenix team. And then Jonesville winning the D title, as we mentioned. And now they're all, as we speak,
today
beginning the sectional Division I large school and Division II small school championships, where only the champions are guaranteed spots in the state meet. But in the years past, we've seen wild card second place finishers go and win the state championship in Albany in Division II because the depth of competition here is so good.
And Phil mentioning that state meet February 28th and 29th, and as he mentioned, in Albany. 2 more Section 3 championships take place this weekend. There's a boys swimming at Nottingham, where Liverpool is, of course, the front runner in Class A, while Fulton, Mexico, New Hartford, and Cooperstown should all be in the mix for Class B and C honors.
And what's happened, they had the class meets on Thursday, and in Class A, as you figured, Liverpool would take it. It's funny. Last year, Liverpool won the sectional title and the overall Falwell Cup without winning a single individual race. This time, they won 2 relays, and Julian Brownlow won 2 sprints. Griffin Merkling, he's qualified in almost every discipline you could think of. The most impressive individuals were Watertown's Nate Carlos, who was the outstanding swimmer, and Baldwinsville's Bailey Nick Schultz, who in the 100-yard breaststroke almost broke the sectional record and is already an All-American consideration in that event. He's ranked fifth in the state in the 100 breaststroke. As to the Class B and C sectional class meets, it was Fulton taking the Class B team title, and it was Weedsport taking the Class C team title. Today is the state qualifier, the last opportunity for those who aren't already in the state meet to try and get the times they need to get to Long Island on the first weekend of March for the state championships.
And the 4 sectional girls volleyball finals are today at JD. Class A having finals between Cortland and Chittenango, top seed Carthage and New Hartford, while Class B top seed Mount Montcalm hopes to complete an undefeated season. The Class C semifinals have number 1 seed Beaver River against Tully, plus Onondaga against Dolgeville, while in Class D, Morrisville Eaton is a top seed against Remsen in the semifinals as DeRuyter takes on Sandy Creek.
And what happened here is that we have, in the D final, we have Morrisville Eaton, the top seed, and they'll face Sandy Creek facing defending the C title in that match. In C, it should be a good one. They start at 11 a.m. Onondaga against Beaver River. The top 2 seeds have made it through that bracket, and we'll see what happens there. Class B is going to be special because not only is it a rivalry match between Oneida and VVS but Oneida's longtime coach Cynthia Bobo is retiring after this season, 25 seasons, and imagine having to retire, and your last match is a sectional final against your biggest rival. You want to leave with a bang. I mean, that would be something. Yep. And in Class A, we saw Cortland beat Chittenango in 4 sets in the semifinals, a day after Carthage needed 5 sets to survive New Hartford in the other semifinal. So it's the Purple Tigers trying to break a long title drought against the Comets, who at times this last decade have completely dominated Class A. Should be a fantastic match.
Nice job. All right, on deck, we've got our Wegmans winning spotlight interview, members of the Marcellus girls basketball team. This is the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, presented by SummitCars.com.
This is the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, brought to you by SummitCars.com.
All right, here we are back on the program. Mike Bristol with the Mighty Mustangs in studio, which I love it. Coach, what's going on? How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good to have you in here. So we got the Marcellus girls basketball team and 17-3 record. Is that what it is right now?
It is.
You got to be excited.
It's super exciting.
So tell me about the girls and how well they've been playing all season.
Well, they're awesome, and we've been pretty consistent this season. We've had a few ups and downs with some injuries, but when that happened, some others had to step up, and they did, and that's why we're 17-3.
All right, let's talk about who's in the studio. Sarah Fallon. What's up, Sarah? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good to have you in the studio. What position, Sarah?
I am mostly forward.
Nice. Big rebounder?
I try to be.
Can you shoot?
Occasionally.
That a girl. I like it. Hannah Duran. What's up, Hannah?
Not much.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
It's good to have you in the studio.
Thank you.
What position, Hannah?
I'm usually guard, but sometimes I play forward.
Little 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Whatever they need.
Mm-hmm.
Nice job. May, what's going on? Layla Lamar, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good to have you in the studio. You running point?
Yeah.
Taking care of business?
Yeah.
That a girl. I like your Nike gear. Katie, what's up, Katie McLaughlin?
Not much.
Katie, get close to the microphone. Say hello to everybody.
Hi.
Good job. And Big John's your dad?
Yep.
Is he still jogging or is he giving it up now?
He does jog.
Still gets out and gets it going? That's good. Emma, what's up, Emma?
Not much.
So Emma comes from 2 parents, both are very weak basketball players, but good people.
Yeah.
Donnie was one of the worst at Marcellus, and Lisa had some game. Lisa actually could school your dad one-on-one. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, still can.
Still can do that. That's what I thought. And Emma, tell me a little bit about the Marcellus team. Tell me about playing with these girls and stepping up and doing your thing.
So this is our third year, like, as a team.
Yep.
We've come back together. We've really bonded over the past 3 years, and we just play really well together, I think.
Yeah, you guys are doing it. All right. Coach, let's bounce back to you for a second. I guess going into the season, how confident were you that you could go something like 17 games and league title and where you are right now?
Well, last season we ended 14-6, and that was one of our goals, was to get to 15 wins. We're very confident that we could do that because last season we had a few losses that shouldn't have been losses. We had our main crew coming back.
Yeah.
We only swapped out really a couple players. And what was beneficial for us was we came into the season knowing what we wanted to accomplish. We knew our offense. We knew our defense. With the state taking the start date and moving it back a little bit, it affected a lot of teams, but didn't really affect us as much as I think others. So that was very helpful coming in with a leg up.
We've got a Wegmans winning spotlight interview. Coach, talk a little bit about those who might find it unusual, the wisdom in having a smaller roster, knowing obviously the risk that entails, but also, I guess, what it can produce.
Well, I think it takes a special group of girls to be able to have that small roster and having everybody understand what their role is and how important they all are to the team. So when it is time for them to step it up, whether it's because of an illness or an injury or just game time, they can do that. And I hope they understand how valuable everybody is.
No question. Yeah. May, let's talk a little bit to you here for a second. Obviously, being the point guard, also that 10-game win streak was getting built. You had to sit out a little bit. That must have been tough to watch, and especially when I've been itching to play.
Yeah, so what happened was I got headbutted in the eye, and it cut
Who
open.
did that?
Some girl from Homer.
Wow, did you say, hey, back off, girl? Was she playing just Tenacious D or accident?
No, she came down with a rebound, and she just whipped her head into my face. And it just cut it open, and I had to get it glued up. But what happened
right there, right? That's I've had a few of those.
What happened was it bruised my retina.
Oh.
And they're worried if I got hit as hard or even a little, again, it would detach.
Yeah, that's not good. So all healed up, ready to go.
Yeah.
All right, talk about this time right now, kind of being the extension of coach and running point. Talk about the point guard position.
Well, I think a lot of us can play point guard, but it's just being the leader out on the court. And as a senior, I have been playing for 4 years on varsity. And I just really want these last few games to be the best games. And for me and Sarah, this means a lot to us. And winning sectionals would be crazy.
I love it.
senior year.
Well, it's good. Hannah, let's go to you for a second. You can get red hot. Scored 14, I guess, in the last 2 minutes against Kaz. Lighten things up. You must love having the green light. Give me the ball. Let me chuck it up.
Yeah, I like to score, but I also like being a playmaker too.
Yeah, yeah. And when you're playing on this team and communicating with the girls, what's been the best part for you?
I really think like it's just so exciting when like someone does something good and we just get like so hyped about it. But just like winning crazy games, like we won Bishop Button with 6 people, and that was crazy. But yeah, just keep on winning is really exciting.
Absolutely. Emma, let's go to you for a second. Talk about the versatile roster here, in that several different players can get a hot hand, produce, win some games, do some good stuff. Talk about the versatility.
Well, with some teams, if you play like you shut down 2 players, then the teams really they're done. But with us, I feel like take 1 player out, the other 4 will step up, take 2 players out. It's just, it doesn't really matter. We can all step up and
make things happen. Sarah, let's go to you for 1 second. Through the tough games, I guess, you had late in the season against CBA, Oneida. What did you learn? What needs to improve? What happened in some of those games?
So we definitely learned some of our weaknesses, even though I'd like to say we have
None.
a few weaknesses, only just a few. We've definitely come together more as a team after those losses, and we know that we can pull through if we have to play them again, and we're even more excited to play them if we do play them later in sectionals. And I think knowing that we have all these good wins under our belt and only just a few tough losses, I think it's just making us stronger and stronger every time.
Lauren, how would you assess the team right now?
The vibe that these girls carry right now is different than it has been in the past. The season's long.
Yeah. When
it's over with, some people are checked out. Nobody on our team's checked out. We're ready. We're ready for the second part of the season to start. We're all strong health-wise, injury-free. Knock on wood. Find wood, girls.
Yeah, say a prayer.
We're a very superstitious team, as you can tell, but very confident and ready to go.
Love it. Sarah, talk about, I guess, the actually, I want to go to Katie. Katie, let's go to you. I haven't talked. I got to ask you a question. Get that microphone right in front of you. Talk about the buzz at school. Are the other kids excited? All the buddies you guys have, the boys team, they're excited about where you girls are at?
Honestly, there's more hype for the guys team compared to our team. Like a couple people at school even ask us if we make sectionals.
Oh,
so there's not like a huge buzz about.
Well,
like,
we're going to create a buzz. We're going to do it for you. Well, talk about, I guess, when you guys are off the court, some of the fun things you girls do together.
We have a great time like in practice, but we in the past years we've done like team sleepovers, and like we just
team dinners, all that stuff.
We go to eat like after.
Where's the restaurant of choice?
Tully's.
Everyone likes Tully's. I feel like everybody heads out to Tully's and hangs out. Coach, if you were to pull it off, let's talk about this. What would it mean to get a sectional title to match that long ago in 78?
78 was the last time.
Yeah, so I'm counting. I'm counting on you to do this.
Well, listen, we set 4 goals. We've set 4 goals this year. We set goals to win 15 games. We set a goal to
done.
Yep, okay. Done. We set a goal to be top 4 seeds in sectionals, which is likely to happen. We set a goal to win leagues, which we did. Okay. First time in 20 years.
Nice.
That Marcellus girls have won leagues. And our last goal, which we're waiting to do on Saturday, is to get past the first round of sectionals. So we're taking everything one game at a time, and we've done that all season, and it's suited us just fine.
Then you'll set up a few more goals after that.
Yes.
I like that. Emma, let's talk to you again for a second because I want to get back to a couple things. When you look at this team and you start seeing the girls and how they play and what you girls need to do together, what are some of the things that still need to happen in your mind?
I feel like over the past years we've come together that there's not really much that I feel we have to work
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
But I don't know. It's hard to.
Talk about it. Girls, anybody want to chime in? May, you got anything for us about this team? Sarah?
I think we all know our weaknesses, and we just try to combat them by working together as more of a well-oiled machine every year.
Talk about the rich tradition at Marcel's, not just for obviously soccer and hoops and all the other sports there. Can you talk about that? The rich tradition of Mustang pride? Who's got that for me? Come on, I want to hear about Mustang pride from some of you guys. Do you guys know what Mustang pride is? Duran, let's go.
So I think that in the recent years, we've kind of really picked it up. Like, this is kind of like an era for Marcellus for sports. So I think that a lot of the hype for Marcellus sports has really been growing over the past few years.
I might have to come in and start teaching about Marcel's pride in classes. Let's go. Give me a cheer. You guys got a cheer? You guys got something you guys do before games? You guys get hyped up? How do you guys get hyped up? Let's go.
Our cheer that we say.
Let's hear it. I'm more fired up than you girls. Let's go. Come on now.
Our cheer that we say before games is together.
Let's hear it. Do it. Well, then do it on air. All you guys together. What do you guys say? 1, 2, 3 together?
Yeah.
Awesome.
1, 2, 3
Together.
/ Mustang pride. All right, let's do some shout-outs real quick. And by the way, Emma, your dad's a great hoop player. Played with him for a long time. One of the few guys that understood the game, set great screens. He was the man. All right, girls, let's go. Lauren, how about you start things out? Who want to give some shout-outs? Who want to give a shout-out to?
Shout-outs to our coaching staff, Jeff Lewis, who is in Florida right now for the weekend.
Nice, Jeff.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jeff. Thanks, Jeff.
Yep, good work.
Coach Dan Chicatano, our JV coach, who's going to come up and help us out with sectionals.
Good.
I do have to, of course, shout out my husband and my family for holding down the fort these last couple months.
Good, yeah.
With my 3 girls.
Whoa.
I know.
2 more. Get your starting 5.
I don't know about that, but I do want to shout out to the Marcellus community over the last few home games, especially. We've had the fans have been filling the stands. Granted, mostly they're of the McLaughlin clan, but hey, we'll take whoever we can get. But that Marcellus, that Mustang pride does come from the support from the community.
Definitely.
And we would love to see those fans back and fill the stands on Saturday, hopefully.
All right. Sarah, shout out. Who do you want to give a shout out to?
I'll shout out to my mom and dad. I think they're both listening right now, and just the rest of my family. I'm not sure who else is listening. And I'd like to just thank everybody who's supported us along these past few years.
Okay. Hannah?
I definitely shout out my family, my sister especially, because she has only come to the games that we've lost, so she's really superstitious now and she stays away.
She watches online.
But I do appreciate all the support from everyone who's stuck with us, and definitely the coaching staff for believing in us.
Good job. May?
I'd like to shout out my parents for everything they've done for me since I was like in 5th grade and playing basketball. And I'd like to shout out our JV coach, Chicky, because he's always there to make us laugh.
Very nice. Katie?
Shout out to my parents and my sister and my brother, and shout out to the rest of my family that comes to the games more this year to support me, Emma.
Emma, how about you?
Shout out to my family, my sisters and my mom and dad, and to the whole family that comes to every game, even away games. And also shout out to our other teammates, Hannah, Aubrey, Sam, and Shannon.
All right, Marzel's together. We'll be right back. ESPN Radio 97.7, 100.1.
This is the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, brought to you by SummitCars.com.
All right, here we are back on it. The great Phil Blackwell, always putting everything together for us. Big round of applause, girls. Everybody in studio, big round of applause for Philly B, the man. And Blake Bristol down there playing Minecraft. What a big round of applause for my son, Blake. Come on, All right, we got our Upstate University Hospital Spotlight interview with members of the JD girls basketball team. Rob Seitchen in studio, head coach of the girls. Right off the bat, Coach, I'm disappointed in the lack of Bill O'Keefe in studio. So I think that...
Yeah, he was at practice this morning.
At least he made practice.
He did make practice. I reminded him when we were walking out. He's like, no. He's like, I'm good.
Yeah, because he's not that good of a personality on air. So I think that
I don't know if we've ever heard him on air.
Yeah, and he talks very seldomly, but is he a good coach?
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. He's
really
learning a lot. He helps out. Yeah.
No, Bill.
Yeah.
Does he add spas and pools to his diagrams and
Yeah, no,
pool
we haven't
chemicals?
gotten one of those recovery spas.
That's what you guys need. That's right. No, Billy's my boy. He's a good dude. Him and his crew, they're all great guys. Him and Garrett. Momo LeClaire, what's up, Momo?
Nothing much.
That's like an all-star name. That's
Thank you.
that's like a rock and hoop name. What's up, Momo?
Nothing
Do you have a
much.
nickname?
Momo is my nickname.
Okay, because
Yeah.
I think that's a great first name, but I love it.
Thank
Momo
you.
LeClaire, what's your position?
Point guard, shooting guard.
Like to chuck the ball up, like to run the show, just give you the ball. What do you like to do?
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. I like that, Momo. Gabby, what's up, Gabby?
Hi, how are you?
Gabby, so I messed up. I mean, Paige. Paige, you're supposed to be next. What's up,
Hello,
Paige?
nothing much.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
What's your favorite part of this JD girls hoop team?
Being with all my friends because I played with them for
Your whole
a
life?
yeah,
That's how it works. All right, Gabby, we'll go to you now.
Hello.
What's up, Gab? Favorite part of your for this JD girls hoop team?
I'd have to agree with Paige, my teammates.
Nice.
While I play the game.
Andrea Sumida. What's up, Andrea? What's going on?
Nothing.
What other sports you play?
I play softball as well as basketball.
That's right. What position in softball?
I play center field.
Center field.
Yeah.
All right. You like to field, but you rather hit?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Switch hit or just right-hander?
I actually hit left-handed.
Left-handy.
Yeah.
But you play field right-handed?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what. Okay. Sydney Baker, what's up, Bakes?
Hello.
Do you have a nickname? Do they call you anything?
I have a couple nicknames. I like Sid though, because
Sid?
Sydney's my in trouble name. I always say that.
I like Bakes.
Bakes, you can call me Bakes.
I like the Bakes. What's your favorite part of this JD hoop team?
I'd say as a senior, my last time playing with the team, like stepping up, being a captain, stuff like that. I've been playing 4 years with these guys, so I'm gonna miss them a lot. So I'm just doing it for these guys and the rest of my team. So.
All right, Coach, let's go to you. We talked about this in the beginning of the show. We said JD girls basketball team the last 6 years, sexual Class A title, 6 trips to the state final, 3 consecutive state championships, a federation crown. Talk about the success at JD.
Well, we've been very fortunate at JD. It started out with a group of Casey, Jamie, and Meg Hare, and then this group right here has kind of replaced them. These guys, everybody sitting here, this is their 4th year playing varsity. So their experience has been very helpful. And we're fortunate to have kids that want to play basketball, want to be coached, and are willing to put in the work and effort to do it.
Gabby, let's talk to you for a second. You had that injury. Talk about that injury and now kind of where things are at.
Yeah, it's very hard because it is my senior season,
Right.
and I've never been in a role like this. But it's definitely given me a way different perspective of the game, and it's just given me so much more respect for the game itself.
Right. You kind of get hurt, and then you're away from it. You miss it, and that kind of stuff. All right. So now, how do you feel at this point?
It's hard watching them sometimes play and not being able to go in, but I have the most confidence in the world in my teammates, and I know that they're going to get the job done.
And a girl. How about a round of applause? Huh?
Yeah, Gabby.
Good job, Gab. Momo, let's go to you. Then there was, let's talk about the schedule, all the teams you had to face. Who gave you the biggest problem and why?
Biggest problem? I'd probably say Bishop Girton. I got to give them
some credit.
I tip my cap to them because they played really well and they deserve to win that game.
So explain a little bit. What did they do? What did they change up?
They had a pretty good press, and I think we struggled getting into our half-court offense.
Coach, they pretty much control the tempo and a lot of turnovers?
Yeah, definitely in the beginning. They were very big, physical, and they played downhill fast, really quick. They're they won 5 straight state championships in New Hampshire or something like that. So they were really good. They made us learn a lot of things that we have to work on.
Isn't it always fun? But then you get it and you go back and you fix things, right?
Absolutely, yes.
We've got our Upstate University Hospital Spotlight interview with JD girls basketball team. Sydney, for a second, you also had to deal with a long-term injury this season. Have you now found your rhythm and a couple weeks back and feeling better?
Yeah, at first I came back and I was a little slow to get into it, but as soon as I think Oswego was my first game where it really clicked in, and now I'm on the up and up right now. So, but it was hard coming back from it. So.
Phil Blackwell always likes to jump in. Philly B, what's up, pal?
I forgot to mention also that Andrea, you had to deal with an injury as well. You missed some games. What happened with you, and how long did it take for you to get comfortable again?
Well, for the first part of the season, I was out sick, so that took me out of games for a while. And then I did have a small injury with my foot, but I just tried to play through it because it wasn't anything too big and nothing that I couldn't handle.
Good job. Paige and Andrea, let's talk to you two. Paige first, then Andrea. Talk about your particular games, how they have grown, and some of the new challenges this season.
Well, the challenge is having Gabby out and having everybody on the team step up, which has been kind of hard. And I don't know, we just got to have more effort when we play. And
Good job. Andrea?
Something that's been really tough this season is that basically every game that we've come out, we've started with a different lineup. We've had to play with a bunch of different girls, so it's kind of being hard for everyone to find their position and find their role on the team. And I feel like we're starting to settle into that a little bit now, but it's taking us a lot of games to find our rhythm and stuff like that. So hopefully that we're on the upswing and we got all those things figured out now.
Rob, talk about that. Is that due mostly to injury or finding the best fit, or what was it?
All of the above.
Yeah.
You're looking at it, if everyone was healthy, you're looking at our starting five.
Okay, gotcha.
But not once will they play together this year, unfortunately. But, due to lots of different people, illnesses, injuries, we've had, I'm going to guess, 7 or 8 different groupings of starters this year.
Wow.
And it's just in the last couple of games that we've kind of gotten everybody back mostly healthy to be able to, to try to figure out who plays well together and in what situations.
Sydney, let's go to you for a second. Did you sense, I guess, through the week, winning a trio of games, that everything is finally starting to click here and you girls are really where you need to be?
Yeah. I don't know.
Be honest. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yes and no.
Yes, no's good. Yeah. And kind of explain why.
I feel like after we lost to Girton, it kind of just blew us away a little bit because we played them last year and we didn't lose to them by that much. But then this year, I think we just came off on the wrong mindset. And then after that, we worked hard. We came and we played Oswego and we played really well against them. And then we just played Maine Enwell and we whooped them, which is really good. We played the best I've ever seen us play. And if we play like that every game, I know we can win it all. Honestly.
I like your spunk. Coach, when you look at, I guess, the Class A C and you see CBA, some of these New Hartford, Whitesboro, some of these other teams, assess where you're at right now and then facing some of those.
Well, it's good to be as healthy as we're going to be for the year so far. CBA has done pretty well all year, and then Whitesboro seems to always be there somehow, some way. We have to control what we can control. I think, ability-wise, we're pretty good. But we have to control our effort every day on the floor. And I think we will in playoffs. We're starting to figure that out. It's just we've had a couple ups and downs this year with that.
We've got our Upstate University Hospital Spotlight interview, members of the JD girls basketball team, Phil Blackwell.
I wanted to mention this last moment about this. Who are some of those players that were starting at one point or another this season? And we want to make sure that they get mentioned as well because they've had to contribute plenty in unexpected situations.
Yeah, definitely. I honestly think most of the team has. So Hannah Brooks, Riley Latre, Lily Lowenguth, Kaylee McKenna, Macy Durkin.
I don't think Macy started yet, but Macy came up from JV.
Yep.
So she came up as a point
Did
guard.
Bill get all fired up? He's like, what are you taking?
No, he was actually the first one to mention it. He said it immediately when Gabby went down, but we waited a couple games and then decided we need to bring her up to help us out.
What an executive decision by Bill. That's solid right there. Go ahead, Phil. You got another one?
The other thing I want to ask, Rob, is this something that I'm very curious about because you've been succeeding for several years. The time in between the end of the regular season and the start of the sectional playoffs for you guys, that means waiting more than a week most of the time. What's worked on? What's the balance between work and rest as you get ready? And how have you been able to master all that the last few years?
I don't know if we mastered it, but we try to find something that works. We'll play we play Monday night, so we have a late game this year. We'll take Tuesday off. We'll probably take the weekend off. We're gonna scrimmage or practice against CNS one of the days, and then we'll come back a week from Tuesday, probably with our first sectional game. So we try to give them some days off. We've had a tough, probably 8 or 9 day stretch here where we've had, I think, 5 games. So they do need some little bit of rest, both mentally and physically. And then we just try to ramp up and be ready to go when playoff games start.
Very nice. Let's talk about getting a sectional title. And would it mean a little bit more with all these obstacles? Momo, why don't you answer that first? We'll go around the board.
I definitely know we're capable of it. And I mean, obviously, we all want to do it for Gabby, and I want to do it for the seniors because I've been playing with them for a while. So, yeah, I think we're ready.
Paige.
Do it.
I just want to do it for my last year. That's all I want to do it for.
Gab.
I just want to win it.
Yeah, like I said before, I have 100% confidence in them, and I know they'll do it.
Beautiful. Andrea.
I do think that there's some great competition in our section this year. Usually we kind of, get through the section pretty good, and this year there's some good teams and good competition. So I think that amps us up even more and wants us and gives us the desire to win even more. So
Very
I'm excited
nice.
for that.
Sydney.
I think, honestly, in every sport at JD, there's always pressure to like keep a streak of like winning sectionals. Like I know for soccer, this is our 11th year winning sectionals. So I think that this year we can definitely pull it off. Anyone we face, we can beat. So
Rob, give us the recipe. What needs to happen, essentially?
I'll put the ball in that little orange hoop is usually the helpful thing with that. Yeah.
Get some points.
The simple thing is that with us, it's our energy and effort for 32 minutes. You know, we kind of peak and valley sometimes, but, you know, we played Main Edwell this week, and we played for 32 minutes. So that, you know, that I think that's the thing that we can control and help us out greatly for that.
Very, very good. All right, let's do some shout-outs. Momo, give me a shout-out.
Shout out Riley Latrey for being my biggest supporter.
Nice. Paige.
Shout out Gantos.
Gabby's boyfriend.
Gab.
Shout out Ev.
Andrea.
So shout out to Coach Coddett.
All right, Sydney.
I gotta think about this one.
You go right through a whole list if you have some.
I'll probably shout out to my family.
All right, very nice. Coach, where do you want to go?
Sorry. Well, my family's probably not listening, so let's shout out to Coach Coddett, Coach Gantos, and of course Mr. O'Keefe.
All right, good job. ESPN Radio 97.7, 100.1.
This is the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, brought to you by SummitCars.com.
All right, Phil, where do you want to go? Finishing things up a couple minutes here. Talk some boys hoops, girls hoops.
Yeah, we wanted to mention, obviously, we're into the basketball regular season, but we had 3 teams finish undefeated regular seasons. Whitesboro boys basketball, 19-0. Edge Utica Proctor Thursday night to maintain that perfect mark, luckily the top seed for the Class A playoffs. Also, DeRuyter boys basketball team went through their regular season 20-0. They're ranked 3rd in the state in Class D. It'll be quite a good sectional playoffs, though, there as well, and we'll mention that next week's program. Also, the Brookfield girls basketball team, when they beat Casanova on Thursday night, they finished a 20-0 season, the only girls basketball team here to finish undefeated. Also want to mention 3 different players that became all-time leading scorers at their programs this week. CBA girls, Brooke Jarvis pulled it off, passing Leanne Ockenden as their all-time leading scorer Tuesday in their win over Bishop Ludden. On Wednesday, or also I think it was the same day, Casanovia's Lindsay Lawson, who's going to Harvard next season, she's passed and became their all-time leading scorer Tuesday in the win. And then last night, Corcoran's DeJour Reeves passed, and with a big 40-plus point performance, he became Corcoran's all-time leading scorer. Think about the Corcoran program and all the great players that have come through that program, and Reeves is on top in a week where Corcoran, they won the last second game over Baldwinsville. They've scored 100 points a couple of times this week. Class AA playoffs are going to be quite something, but we'll get into all that next week in the program.
Phil, nice job. What's going on next week? Who are we going to line up?
We're going to have a lot of people on the show, lots of guests. I think we're going to have the top Liverpool swimmers. We may have the seniors, but they have the top ones coming in next week, and plenty more guests besides.
Your top 3 teams of the week, who would they be?
I want to mention top 3 teams. That's hard to. I'm trying to figure it out, but I like to mention the JD girls that were just in here. 3 wins during the week. Also want to mention Corcoran boys basketball too. That was that last second win over Baldwinsville. Very important victory. And then win over Binghamton on Friday. And I want to mention Lowville again, boys basketball, because again, they've stayed atop the state rankings and they won the Frontier League Championship tournament, knocking off General Brown, who may be their main competition in Class B, as they start the sectional playoffs late next week.
Real quick, we got 30 seconds for ice hockey. Take your
Division
time.
1, we have the top 2 seeds will be again Syracuse and West Genesee after they swept through their opponents this week. And 3rd place is FM after they won in overtime over Baldwinsville. And in Division 2, Skinny Atlas, 18-0-1. And Whitesboro, they'll be the top 2 seeds by straight to semifinals. They'll play each other next week to see who finishes first in the league, though.
All right, we've got SU pregame. Seth and crew will be here in studio. Thanks to Phil Blackwell for all of our guests here, obviously, today. We'll be back next week, another Inside High School sports show, as well as Syracuse Legends. Syracuse Legends not this week because of the pregame. Let's go Cuse. Let's get a W here. So we'll be hopefully getting one. So, all right, Seth and crew. ESPN Radio 97.7 100.1. 97.7 100.1. 97.7 100.1. 97.7 100.1. 97.7 100.1.